Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
He came from another time. That much was clear. Something about him looked strange, unfamiliar to us, yet we could tell that he was almost human. His structure was similar to ours. He had the same limbs, the same overall stature, but he was different in ways that are hard to describe. I suppose I should explain a few things about this situation. I'm the lead doctor of this facility. We've been investigating a signal that we've been receiving for the past few months. We ended up in the middle of the Arctic. The middle of nowhere, really. You may be asking what the signal was, and that I cannot really answer. It was some kind of ping, a shrill sound that would sound like it was growing in intensity, then slowly fade out. Not dissimilar to how it sounds as a car passes by, quiet, loud, and back to silent. We had spent months trying to decipher the signal. It was unlike anything we had ever heard, but we knew it was important. None of the experts the world over could tell us what it meant, but we had all agreed that it was a beacon of sorts. We tracked it day in and day out, eventually leading us to the Arctic, as previously stated. We found the exact location from which the signal was being produced, but there was nothing there. It was then that the realization hit. We needed to dig. It took a painful number of man-hours and machines, but after digging down much further than ever anticipated, we found the source of the signal. It was a coffin, adorned in gold and the most precious of jewels. Upon the coffin was a number of inscriptions that we couldn't decipher. Among the illegible text, there was one small entry that we could actually read.
May malice of greed be the folly of Adam, and his cask hold him steady. If any man is to follow in the steps of Adam, then surely the serpent will take what is his.
Obviously, this piqued our desire to know more. We excavated the container and took it back to our makeshift Arctic laboratory. We thawed it to the best of our ability and chipped the remaining ice away. We had discussed whether or not we should continue, but in the end, curiosity had won us all over. We broke the strange wax seal over the lid and cautiously removed the lid. It was then that the true source of the signal was revealed. A man-like creature lay in the container, holding himself in a fetal position. We were all taken aback by the possibility of the signal coming from an organic life form and not a machine. How could anything living possibly emit a radio signal? We all stared at the being, thinking about the possibilities as he slowly opened his eyes, as the life lifted back into his body, as he began stretching his limbs and unfolding his wings. It was clear that this being was not Adam. No, this was the serpent. Honestly, it didn't take long. I remember a time when we all thought it was so far off that nothing like this could happen in our fragile lifetimes. Looking back, it's almost laughable. I've been spending my last few days watching videos of how things were. I found a box of DVD with permanent marker written on them. I have no idea who the people in the videos are, but they were filled with recordings of celebrations. Birthday, Christmas, New Year's. There was even one in the pile labeled Family Reunion. It's a bit strange to see that someone out there still put videos on DVDs. Such an old way of doing things, but if nothing else, I'm grateful. It's been a pleasant escape from existence. Of course, the nostalgia had been putting some strange thoughts in my head. How did we end up where we are? How did I get forced into this situation? Sure, these thoughts are fruitless, but I've never been one for fruit, so I decided to entertain them. I feel like most people would say that we're apathetic, and that's what brought us here. At least, that's what they would say. If they weren't mostly dead, and maybe they'd be right. It's not hard to get wrapped up in your own life, uncaring of how everyone else is living. Why should I care if my neighbor 2 doors down the way had a bad day and decided to drunkenly take it out on his wife? Not really my problem. Someone probably also pushed that it was caused by politics, the never-ending squabbling between opposite ends of the same spectrum. More like 2 different sides of the same coin, but I don't think it would have made a difference. Sure, the people voted for their leaders, others voted for who they wanted. Sitting here today, doesn't really feel like the end of everything was partisan. Death is indiscriminate, doesn't care who you voted for. It doesn't care what you considered right or wrong. Ironically, so are bombs, missiles, bullets. They just kind of do their own thing. Now, if you were to ask me, I think it was ignorance. We did all we could to steer the country, the world, in the right direction. We were charitable to some extent. There was even a brief moment when everything was set into motion, where we loved our fellow man. Again, laughable. The sirens wailed, the skies lit up, the cities burned, and we waited to help each other. By then, it was too late. Everything had been set into motion. The steps chosen to start anew were already being followed, and with those 3 simple words, we would all meet our end. With those 3 simple words, we would get what we deserved. Our penance for our apathy, our fighting, the wars, the murder, everything our species had ever done. It was then that we were baptized by fire. Tonight's stories were written by As the Raven Dreams. If you enjoyed these stories, chances are you'll enjoy the content over on his channel. Please do go check him out, as he is a great friend of this channel, a great author, and a fantastic narrator. Hey, did you know I have merch? Yeah, crazy, right? But I do. If you would like to walk around representing my realm and gaining me new travelers, the links to my merch store as well to all my other social medias is in the description below. As always, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all my lovely Patreons. 242 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Pam, Seraphine the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, Hair Raising Narratives, and Spooky Boo's Scary Story Time. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers but a light on my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon as well. Remember, the support is always appreciated but never expected. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ding that bell for all future content.
And as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.